What's up, YouTube? Anyway, Brendan here, and okay, now that that's done, what's going on? Brendan here. So how about these markets, huh? First, we have the worst week since 2008. Then we followed it up on Monday with the single best day in the market since in the last 10 years. All these ups and downs in the market will make you dizzy. It's like a freaking roller coaster. Anyway, after experiencing the ups and downs in the market and having everybody from media outlets to YouTubers to my next door neighbor giving me investment advice, I wanted to fact check the historical predictions and headlines of some of the more popular media outlets. Maybe we can find one that's been more consistently accurate than the rest. All of them use expert analysts, but I wanted to find if any have any special nuggets of information or advice that has consistently helped to navigate turbulent markets. Would we have been better off listening to the advice of these experts? So, come with me and let me take you on a journey. We're starting in 1979, and for the last 15 years, so since 1964, the markets have been posting similar returns to 30-day US Treasury bills. The death of equities. How inflation is destroying the market. God, well, I can't say I disagree. The stock market has been terrible. I wonder what else they have to say. The death of equities is a near permanent condition. Jeez, has it really been that bad? Wow, that performance is terrible, especially for a 15-year time period. I thought markets were always positive for a long period of time. Maybe they're right. Maybe this really is the death of equities. What should I do? I guess I might as well sell stocks, and I can invest in bonds or treasury bills, even better. I don't need the extra risk to get the extra return. That doesn't seem so bad. Well, maybe the analysts were just early in their prediction. I'll stick to US Treasuries. I want to give it a full market cycle before I react. That Business Week article did say the death of equities was a near permanent condition. And those expert analysts have to be smarter than me, right? That doesn't look bad at all. Why did I want to sell those stocks and invest in T-bills? Over this 5-year period, if I had left $100K invested in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which was the lowest, my investment would have grown to almost $150K. That's it. I'm buying stocks again. I may have missed out in the last couple of years, but I'm not missing out in the next run-up. Okay, things have been going pretty well. Good thing I was so smart to get back in the markets. I want more though. How can I invest more? What if I borrow money to invest? The markets have been on a tear. It's easy money. Son of a bitch. High anxiety, looming recession, government paralysis, and the threat of war are giving Americans a case of the jitters. Wow, well that all sounds bad. Recession and war? Those sound terrible for the markets. Let's see what they say in the article. I want to say we're in a recession, but it's not a strong enough word. In some regions, it's a depression. Wow, worse than a recession? Like the Great Depression? That was really bad, I think. Is this the next Great Depression? I can't stand it, I'm out. I know. Last time I listened to the article I was wrong, but this time's different. Last time they just based it on returns compared to the US Treasury bills. This time there's a recession and war. It's gotta be bad. And sell all equities? I feel better. I'll wait until the next correction to invest back in the market. God damn. Is history bunk? By past standards, the market is hugely overvalued. Should I get back in? I know I missed out on some, but is there more to go? Look, it says the Dow is about 50% above this century's norm. Maybe I didn't make a mistake selling out. The market has run up and is now overvalued. The correction is still coming. Man, I was getting scared there for a second. I guess I did make the right decision. It's just a little early. sell US stocks, buy European and Asian. We want to get our clients' money as far away from Bill and Hillary as we can. First off, I love America. Second, Bill and I went to the same university. How can I be bearish on that? Forbes, you're not going to fool me this time. I'm staying invested. Ha! You thought you could fool me, Forbes? Too bad, sucker. Apocalypse soon? A crash is no more than weeks away, asserts a veteran market analyst. It is now September 1929. The end is near. We have had a pretty good run. It makes sense that the market's due for a correction. I'll split the difference. I'll just sell half my equity, so I'll stay half invested. Well, at least I didn't sell it completely. But seriously, how long can the markets run up for? Don't just sit there, sell stock now, risks are rising, take profits by cashing 20% of your shares. I knew it. I'm not pushing my luck any further. I can't afford to lose this money. I'm out. Okay. Maybe I overreacted a little. The markets have been pretty good for a while. Everyone's getting rich but me. Where do I see the stock market headed? Likely to around 40,000 on the Dow. By 2008, stocks should be priced 2 to 4 times higher today. I need a piece of this. I'm back, baby. Dow suffers worst ever point drop of 617. Nasdaq falls 355. Come on, Brendan, stay the course. Stay invested, don't react. Bears call markets yet again as Dow Industrials fall nearly 3%. Worst bear market since the 1930s. Fine, you win, I'm out. 4-day gain since 1933. Confounding investors. What the fuck?
Shore. It was calling me aboard, and as I climbed inside, I saw you sitting there. In a daydream, you were lost, but you saw me through the fog. Tried to hide behind your paper and your pen, but you laughed instead. Ooh, you feel it? Ooh, you see me here? Ooh, you feel it on this steamboat? Sailed into the dark, where I dried my glasses off. Oh, before my world came back in focus, you were there. In your smile, I was lost. When your motion to talk, I couldn't mute the conversation in my head, but I think I said
Just stop, I can't take it anymore. No one can figure this out. I'm just investing in indexes and never looking at my investments or these headlines again. I hope you enjoyed all that. It took me hours to look up all of those headlines and put it all together, so if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe. If I had simply invested in the markets in 1979 and left my investments alone, I would have earned over 8.5% per year on average. As you can see here, when you look at the market on a long time frame, from 1970 in this case, regardless of the headlines, the market trended up over the entire period. Ignore the headlines and stay disciplined. While admittedly that entire journey I took you on was a little exaggerated, that's the emotional reaction the media headlines are looking for. The greater our emotional reaction, the more likely we are to keep reading and look for more information, which just helps their ratings. It takes extra willpower and discipline to continue to ride the markets through the ups and downs. What are we supposed to think when we read some of the headlines in the news? Experts weigh in and tell us the market's going to go up and down? How can we discount their knowledge and advice? I, like most of you, am still working and earning money, and I continue to save and add to my investments. As the markets decline, it simply creates a better buying opportunity for me. I know it sounds crazy, but to be honest, the best thing for my retirement is the markets to continue to go down every year. I continue to invest, put money in, and then the day I retire, hopefully they bounce back strong. As the markets decline, they become cheaper and cheaper, and for the same investment, I can buy more shares and a higher percentage of each company. As long as nothing has fundamentally changed with any of these companies to justify the decline, then I'm happy to get them at a cheaper price. Think of it this way, when there's a 20% market correction, that's the same as going to your local grocery store and finding that the eggs you typically buy are on sale for $4 instead of $5. You don't complain that eggs are now on sale and you shouldn't have bought them last week. As long as they haven't gotten worse in quality or quantity, then you're happy for the discount. And maybe you'll buy a little bit more today than you normally would to take advantage of the discount. When it comes to investing, you shouldn't waste your time worrying about things that are out of your control. Time and time again, Wall Street analysts and money managers have proven that one, it is not possible to pick winning stocks. If the experts who spend all day trying to outperform the market can't do it, then what hope do we have as ordinary investors? Along the same lines, number two, it is not possible to identify money managers who can consistently select stocks that outperform. Finally, number three, the one that everyone knows, it is not possible to time the markets. On a daily basis, no one knows if the market's going to go up or down. 53% of the time it goes up, 47% of the time it goes down on a daily basis. It's about as good as a coin flip. The best advice is to ignore the noise of the media. Remember that they're in the business of selling newspapers and will do anything to gain another reader. Instead, focus your time and energy on the things you can control. You can, number one, reduce your investment expenses. Choose investments that have lower expense ratios. A great example is Vanguard index funds. The other side of this is choosing a custodian that doesn't charge fees for trading and holding accounts with them. Two great examples if you're just starting out are Webull and Robinhood. In the description, I've included a link to Webull. If you use the link to open an account and fund it with $100, you'll get 2 free stocks, one of which could be valued up to $1,400. You can use the Robinhood link for a third free stock. When you use these links, I receive free stocks as well. Another thing under your control is number two, diversifying your portfolio. This is one of the most important things when it comes to investing. It's the only surefire way to reduce the risk in your portfolio without giving up potential returns. And number three, always be aware of different ways to minimize your taxes. This includes tax loss harvesting, which you can take advantage of to reduce your tax bill, and investing in more tax-efficient vehicles. Things like municipal bonds and mutual funds with low turnover that will help you increase your after-tax return. You can also reduce your taxes by choosing the optimal investment vehicles, things like a 401k. If your employer doesn't provide this, you can still open an IRA or a Roth IRA to take advantage of the tax savings. The most important thing under your control is number four, maintain your discipline. Choose an investment strategy and stick to it in good times and bad. And remember to rebalance at least annually. Trying to time the market is a fool's game. So, how have media headlines affected you? Have they encouraged you to make sometimes irrational decisions in your investment portfolio? Tell me about it in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Have a great week, stay invested, ignore the headlines. Take care.